Cougar Nation, and welcome back to another Coaches Weekly for this season of Cougar Men's Soccer. I'm Jonathan Shear with the Cougar Sports Network, and joining me once again is head coach of that soccer team, Brad Callahan.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, and it was the busiest week of the season for your team so far. We might as well start it off with the elephant in the room. Your team picked up the first win of the season, their first win since October of 2022, and your first win as head coach of the program. So just how important is it for the team to not just get that first win, but to get it done so early in the season?
Yeah, I mean, it's important to get the win. That was a game, we were expecting to win. We needed to win. And I thought we played good, played well. And there's still things we could clean up, in that game. Even though we won, I thought it could have been a little bit cleaner in different aspects. But I think we have a really strong foundation moving forward. And so I think cleaning up a lot of the details will help us.
Absolutely. And you mentioned expecting to win that game. That's something that's really stood out to me as this season's gone on, is the team expects to be better this year. You guys are expecting to win games now. You're expecting to be competitive. And has that really just been a massive part of the culture for the team this year?
Yeah, that's something I've talked about with the team is the expectations and the standards and just how they view themselves. And I think, we have a good, solid core returning from last year and a lot of freshmen and transfers. So we have a very good group, and I think that they really need kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy, that mental side of sports where they really need to see themselves and understand that they're capable of winning and understand that's based in fact, that they have skills, they have the ability, and expect a lot of themselves and each other and push each other.
Absolutely. And moving on to your second game this past week, you took on Hope College at home, and it was a pretty good game from your team. Fell 2-1 to a very highly rated Hope College squad and actually led for most of the first half. So looking at the defensive aspect of that, because your defense played fairly well on the week as a whole, what's been some of your focuses with your defense coming into this last week in those games you played?
Hope had other chances to score, probably more than we did. We had a couple of chances as well. But I was really happy with the guys' resilience, the guys' toughness. I thought at times in the Hope game we're playing too many long balls. We need to connect to the midfield. So that's something we're going to work on at practice today, is really having our midfielders get on the ball and be able to connect to the midfield and then stay defensively organized in all aspects of the field. I think sometimes work smarter, not harder. I want the guys to work hard, but sometimes I think they get a little overzealous and get out of position. So being organized, communicating, and being smart will all be very key points moving forward. But yeah, my message after the Hope game was, we need to start winning games, and we can't be satisfied with that. We need, like I was saying, to expect more of ourselves and have a higher standard. And so I think that's really coming into fruition now.
Absolutely. And something else that's kind of interesting moving forward that is the goalkeeper situation. Obviously, throughout preseason, it's been Kyle Schultz getting the bulk of the minutes at the net, but you've also had both of your other keepers, Nathan Gudioh, Chase Zizak. Both of them have been getting minutes in the net, and Gudioh getting minutes in both games this past week. So really, as you move forward, what's your plan at the goalkeeper position?
Yeah, I don't really have a plan, to be honest. It's just going to be who performs. I want it to be competitive. I want to keep it open. To be honest, I've talked with them about, I think, two of the biggest aspects of goalkeeping are making saves and then having good footwork. And I think as you get to the higher levels, you need both of those. And so I think their footwork and being comfortable with the ball, their decision-making is going to be huge going forward. So I've talked to them about, making sure their footwork's good. I think their ability to make saves is all quite good.
Absolutely. And we've talked about looking forward. Now let's really look forward. This upcoming week for your team, it's the conference opener week as your team moves into the conference play for this year. And you'll kick that off this Tuesday, taking on Rockford in a home match. And then next Saturday, it's a trip up the Lakeshore to take on Lakeland University. As you move into this conference season, from sort of a broad perspective, what goals do you have for your squad?
I want us to finish towards the top of conference. Both of those games are games that we need to win. They're must-win games that I'm expecting, for the guys to perform. I think just take it one game at a time, and we'll keep improving. But as far as tomorrow's game, that's a game that we need to, be ready right from the start of warm-ups and have that professional attitude, go out there and take care of business.
Absolutely. And that's it for this week on the Coaches Weekly. Like we mentioned, coming up this week, it's the conference opening week for Cougar men's soccer, and that'll start with a home match against Rockford University right here in River Forest on Tuesday, and they'll follow that up with a trip to take on Lakeland University in Wisconsin this Saturday. You'll be able to follow that Rockford game on the Cougar Sports Network and follow all the action from everything Cougar men's soccer on cucougars.com. Once again, I'm Jonathan Shear of the Cougar Sports Network. Coach Callahan, thanks for joining us once again this week.
Thank you, Jonathan. Happy to be here.
Absolutely, and thank you for joining us for another Coaches Weekly, and make sure to join us next time for more
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the campus of Concordia University, Chicago, here for the Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference opener between the visiting Rockford University Regents and the Concordia University Chicago Cougars. I'm Kayla McLeod. I'll be on the call with you all day today as we get set and ready here. A beautiful sunny day here in River Forest. As the players get the Regents able to collect a quick corner kick for them. As we get a look at who is taking the kick for the Regents. Number 27, Brian Maldonado, freshman out of Evanston, Illinois, sends that ball in. It's up, but Regents unable to connect on the air. Cougars looking to clear it out a little bit. And they do, but the Regents regain possession here, but the Cougars able to sneak it out of there. Batting the ball around a little bit in the midfield here. A big up attempt for Garrett Pointer, trying to get ahead on that ball in the air, and just unlucky undercut there from Quinn Vukovic. But Pointer able to get up and continue just as well. So a free kick here for the Cougars. De Santiago quickly sends that ball back over to Lehovitz. Lehovitz keeping it in the middle field here. Cougars looking to control this game early. They lost to the Regents last season. The first time the Cougars had lost to the Regents since 2018. So looking to get a little bit of revenge here as that ball over in the corner kept alive by the Cougars. Sends that ball in, but no Cougars able to collect it. So the Regents clear it out, but it's going to be Garcia here around the 50-yard line, able to collect it, keep it in. Cougars played a bit of a defensive-heavy game in their last matchup against Hope College. So this back line for the Cougars, very, very strong. We've seen some really good things out of this defense as you see them now controlling it and controlling the tempo of this game early. Drawing a little bit of pressure in from the Regents, but able to keep controlling the ball. Looking to advance. Pointer started to make a run towards flag, but ball pulled back a little bit. Cougars look very comfortable sitting in their defensive half of the field right now, making the Regents come to them, kind of draw some of that energy early. Cougars have a really deep bench, a lot of new faces, and a lot of fresh legs that can come in. So looking to utilize that right now, make the Regents run early here, tire them out a little bit before attacking quickly. Regents collect a throw in here on that far side. But Cougars once again able to overcome it and control this ball here. Dropping it back to Garcia. Garcia coming up the field. Sends it over to Lehovitz on the near side here. Lehovitz back to De Santiago, but some good pressure there by the Regents. Maldonado coming in hot, looking to pressure. Flusters the Cougars a little bit, so Lehovitz is going to switch field, send it along the far side. But the Regents able to break it up, keep that ball in the air. Cougars hanging out in this midfield area, really comfortable once again. Freshman defender Jose Garcia been starting all season for the Cougars on this back line. As Pointer's unable to get another touch on that. It's going to be a throw in for the Regents. Bennett Abler taking that throw in there. Before losing it, Cougars again playing really strong on the ball right now. Pointer with a shot. First shot of the day on frame. That's going to be a save for Sarmiento. It's a good look from Pointer, being able to turn that corner there and get the ball off on his strong foot. but a strong goalkeeper in goal, and putting it right down the middle for him makes it a little bit easy as the Cougars once again retain possession of the ball here. Yanez sends it back over to Garcia. Garcia with the long ball up to Delgado. Delgado coming over, looking to send a long ball. He does. Does it get through? It does not. A good breakup there by the Regents. But Cougars going to keep possession. Tokar's on the far side there, dropping it back. And Cougars are once again going to slow things down a little bit. But a bad pass from Yanez, intended for Garcia, is going to give the Regents a throw in here. Abraham Gonzalez going to take that throw in and launch that ball into the box. Regents didn't look set or prepared for it. That ball was intended for Ian Jurgensen, but just wasn't paying too much attention, and ultimately in the wrong spot for that throw. It was an absolute launched ball from Gonzalez. Just unlucky there. As that ball is batted backwards off the foot of De Santiago. Regent's going to take control here. A deep kick from Sarmiento. Lehovitz challenging Andrew Roth there, but it's going to go to the Cougars. A lot of underclassmen on this Regent starting lineup. Seeing quite a few freshmen making their way into this lineup, as that ball is also going to go to the Regents. Looks like a little bit of a slip up there. But Cougars get the ball back in the midfield. Pointer sends it up. Delgado chasing it down. Flag stays down. He's onside. Nobody trailing into the box as Delgado looked to cross it in, but it was deflected by the Regents and cleared out. A good deflection there from the Regents. Looked like that deflection might have been Samuel Frisch. A really, really good job defensively keeping that ball out of the box, as that ball is also sent in, but Luka Todic is going to be able to bat that one away. We've got a throw in here for the Cougars. De Santiago coming down, once again broken up, but retaining possession. The Regents doing a really good job of breaking up passes, but unable to keep the possession once they do. Getting a foot on and able to disrupt the Cougars' path, but just not quite able to do something with it. But Regents going to get a goal kick here. As that ball is low, right to Garrett Pointer here. Pointer challenging Todic, but Todic clears it out. Regents coming down the field, retaining possession. Jurgensen fast tracking that ball. Ball bouncing around a little bit, but the Cougars able to send it upfield. Regents take it right back. Ocampo sends that ball up. Tokar's coming down. Flag stays down. Tokar's one-on-one. Puts the shot up. It is saved. What a fantastic save there from Sarmiento. Delgado trailing on the backside. Unable to get there to put it in on the deflection. The Regents able to clear it out and protect the goal. It's going to give a corner kick here for the Cougars. A really, really, really good save there from Juan Sarmiento. Can see why he's getting the start in goal, picking up a career-high 9 saves in their last matchup. As this ball is up, marking the backside. No Cougar able to get ahead on it. The Regents clear it out. First touch from Jurgensen, a little off, and they're able to retain possession, but send it up. No Regents tracking backwards, so Cougars going to retain the ball here. Garcia with plenty of time to let his field get set before he decides where he's putting that ball. Switches field over to Yanez. Yanez sends it up to Tokars. Tokars gets around a defender. A well-played ball down for De Santiago. Sends it in. Nobody tracking in the box. Tokars there a bit too late. Regents able to get a piece of it, but the Cougars get it back here. Drop back to Yanez. Yanez over to Ocampo. Sends this ball in. Nobody able to grab it. Cougars were looking to get a one-touch there, but Sarmiento, I think, got a hand and was able to knock it out before it bounced off the Cougars. So another great job from Sarmiento protecting the goal there. As he gears up for another goal kick here. Sends that one shallow. Tokar is able to collect it. Cougars taking their time. They're being selective with where they're going to place the ball, waiting for the right runs to be made. Yanez brings the ball up. Garcia calling for a switch here, which the Cougars are going to do. Garcia with plenty of space. De Santiago sends that ball deep. Tokars. Garcia coming up high, leaving Yanez to protect the back line solely. Garcia with that ball in, just over Pointer's head, unable to get a piece of it. Cougars are looking to play the air here today. We've seen it a lot. They're sending a lot of high balls in. They've got a pretty good height advantage there, so trying to utilize the height that they've got on that front line in Garrett Pointer. Pointer sitting at 6'2", the tallest on this Cougar squad, so really trying to utilize his height and win those balls in the air. As De Santiago wins that ball in the air. Yanez wins another one. So once again, we're seeing it from the Cougars. They're winning those height matchups, and it's really we're gonna see that play effect as the Cougars keep attacking and sending those long balls in. Jurgensen with the pressure. This Regent squad has faced a pretty tough schedule here early in the preseason. Their non-conference schedule, couple of CCIW teams, couple of Midwest Conference teams. So not surprising that they've struggled a little bit with the competition that they've been facing in these early matchups, as Jurgensen almost gets a piece on that ball, but Yanez is going to be able to collect it and settle things a little bit. Again, the Regents, only 2 goals scored so far on the season, but some tough competition they've played so far. Here in the NAC opener, a pretty evenly matched squad. They're going to call Pointer offsides on that ball. Regents have yet to hold a team scoreless on the season, despite some really big performances from their goalkeepers. Cougars looking to take advantage of that, knowing that this Regent squad has given up a number of goals so far. Sarmiento doing a really good job today, already 2 saves on some really impressive shots from the Cougars. As that ball sent up to Delgado. And a throw in for the Cougars. Lehovitz drops it into the midfield for De Santiago. De Santiago being challenged there by Gonzalez, and the Regents are going to take that ball. A long ball sent down. Jurgensen the closest to it, but that ball is just sent a little too far for Jurgensen to be able to get there. So the Cougars once again holding the ball and maintaining possession here. Another throw in for the Cougars. We see some subs waiting to come in for the Regents. Cougars already 3 shots on the day. Regents yet to put one up. As that ball is challenged there, but the Cougars coming across the midfield, switches it over to Lehovitz on the near side here. Lehovitz gets ahead on it, and another touch. Delgado in the right spot sends that ball well off frame. Really good effort there from Lehovitz. And if that ball's on target from Delgado, that's a hard shot to stop. Looks like he was looking for that upper corner there. Unable to find it, sends it a little far off, but really that's a good offensive play there for the Cougars. A great flick there. A one-on-one situation, and Andrew Roth just misses. A really, really, really scary spot for the Cougars to be, but a really great attack there from the Regents. Roth with the perfect touch to get past the Cougar defender in a one-on-one situation with the keeper, just unable to find the back of the net. Misses wide here, gives the Cougars their first goal kick of the day. Schultz boots this one down the midfield. Regents win that one in the air, but Cougars going to be able to settle it here. As Ocampo keeps that one in bounds. A little bit of contact there, but great attempt to keep that in. Sends it back to the midfield for De Santiago. Finds Lehovitz here on the near side. Delgado now looking to send it in. Got some Cougars tracking inside the box, but instead takes his time with it, drops it back to Lehovitz. Lehovitz sends it in over the head of all Cougars. Tokars, though, able to collect it, keep it in, keep the Cougars alive here. De Santiago with that ball in now, batted away by the Regents. Ocampo now with the ball. Little spin there, but loses control of it. Regents, again, doing a really good job of breaking up the Cougars' momentum. Getting little touches here as Roth gets away. Regents had numbers there. Roth just couldn't get it off his foot in time. A dribble that went a little far gave Yanez the space to break that one away, but a really, really good touch there from Andrew Roth. Doing a really, really nice job attacking forward for the Regents. That's the second time we've seen Roth with some space and momentum. Just an unfortunate situation. Not quite able to get it off of his foot to make the pass. He had numbers, though, as that ball is launched in on the far side. Trouble for the Cougars, but Schultz able to collect it. That ball got just past the Cougar defender there. Made way for Chardel Musada. Looked a little scary for the Cougars, but Regents collecting it once again. As Cougars now switch field, send it on the far side, looking to attack. Pointer making the diagonal run before dropping back, but that ball's lost. Roth once again with it, settles it. Ocampo here putting pressure on. That ball's played forward. Regents have a shot here, and a shot wide from Abraham Gonzalez. Unable to find the target, but once again, the Regents attacking and finding those gaps. Now playing here on this front line for the Regents, number 9, Rayhan Jacoby, one of the 2 goal scorers for this Regent squad so far this season. So seeing him add a little bit to that front line. Regents getting their first couple shots off now. Cougars settling on their half of the attacking field. Tokar's on the far side with some speed, but being challenged there by the Regents. Little bit of contact. Ref says play on. That ball is sent in. Delgado jumps, but just over his head, unable to get contact on it. So throw in now for the Regents. Looks like Bennett Abler taking this throw in here. Drops it shallow. Delgado with the pressure. Abler looks to clear it out, but ball goes out of bounds. Cougar throw in here. Lehovitz drops it into space for Pointer. Pointer, one touch, gets around the defender. Dribbling now, looks to get it off of his foot. Over to Delgado. Delgado sends it up for De Santiago. Bobbles it a little bit, but able to keep control on that far side. Cougars taking control. Sends that ball in, nothing, but Tokar is able to collect it. Sends it in off of his left foot. Lehovitz, one touch, goes far, but gets a shot off, blocked there by the Regents. Lehovitz drops it back now to Garcia. Garcia drops it even further back to Yanez. Lets the offense resettle here a little bit, get back into space. As that ball gets through, Ocampo with the shot, but Sarmiento with the save. A nice through ball there. Unable to find the back of the net. Cougars getting themselves in these really good positions for a shot, but just struggling to pick a post and send one. Consistently dropping it right down the middle for Sarmiento to be able to collect it. Cougars now attacking once again. Sends it over on the far side to Xavier Avila. Ibarra now with the ball, drops it back. Looks to switch it, but the Regents applying really good pressure here in the midfield. Garcia now bringing the ball up the field, sends it long. Delgado stayed onside. A nice little one-touch spin is taking it in on the left side, sends it across. Nobody's tracking. Delgado almost found side net on that one. Nobody tracking on the far side to be able to tap it in. Looks like Tokars was making his way there, just off by a few seconds to get there. Sarmiento, I believe, got a hand on it. Now going to be a corner kick here for the Cougars. As this ball is sent in high. No Cougar able to get ahead on it. Ocampo with another wide shot. Sends that ball well off target. So another goal kick here for the Regents. As this ball is up, one in the air by the Cougars. Sent forward. Garcia able to get past two defenders here. Drops it back to Lehovitz. Lehovitz drops back to Schultz. Schultz with a little bit of time, but a lot of pressure there from Jacoby. Regents now with the ball. Sends it forward. Looking to make a run there, but a little bit of miscommunication. Kevin Sanchez just getting ready to start his run towards flag and unfortunately wasn't there in time. So Cougars now settling the ball once again. Good attacking there from Gonzalez, controls it. A challenge there for Roth, but able to maintain possession. Jacoby now with the ball. Lehovitz gets a foot on it. But they're going to say that it bounced off of Jacoby's foot on that challenge there. So Cougar throw in. And we're going to see a goalkeeper substitution really early here for the Cougars. Very, very surprising. As we mentioned earlier, Kyle Schultz been a key starter for this Cougar squad. Done a nice job so far holding the Regents blank, but head coach Brad Callahan not liking what he's seeing so far, so going to make a goalkeeper change. In the goal now for the Cougars, number 35, Nathan Gudiel. Excuse me. Number 0, Chase Zizak in the goal. Zizak making only his second appearance on the season. As the Regents get a header on that ball. Roth coming down, but that was going to be broken up by Lehovitz. So corner kick for the Regents here. A really good opportunity somewhere they're probably pretty happy being. A fresh keeper in goal. Saw him warming up on the side of the field a little bit, but Regents looking to capitalize here, have the opportunity to strike first. That ball is lifted low, and it's going to be batted away by Ocampo. But coming down the field here, Abler able to collect it, sends that ball in. Batted around a little bit. Cougars come away with it. Tokar sends it up. Ocampo now bringing it across the middle, sends it deep. Pointer stays onside, but that's going to be collected by Sarmiento. Rolled out to that far side. Regents now coming away. Ball's played forward, intended for Jacoby, but broken up by the Cougars. Ocampo now coming down the middle. Dishes it off to Ibarra. Ibarra drops back to De Santiago, who finds Lehovitz here on the near side. Sends that ball in with his right foot. Ocampo puts his cleat up high. A little dangerous play there. Gets a slight touch on it, but Cougars able to maintain possession. Now coming down the far side, that ball is going to bounce off of a Regent defender, and yet another corner kick for the Cougars here. A really good opportunity. Cougars have been winning the ball in the air very well, just struggling to put something on frame. We've seen the Cougars score quite a few goals off of corner kicks so far this season. As that ball is lifted high, Tokar is up and misses it. Yanez on the backside collects it and sends that ball far off target. Once again, a really good corner kick for the Cougars. Just unable to mark it in the air and get a head on it, but great effort on that break to clear some space and be able to get that shot off. As a New Cougar has entered the field. Looks like number 37, freshman Michael Sinise. As that ball's batted around in the midfield a little bit. Sinise able to keep it in, but Regents settle it, sends that ball far. Gonna stay on sides here. Sends it high up into the air. Zizak collects it out of bounds. As we'll see some Regent substitutions coming in here. Gonna see Roth making his way off the field, as well as, I believe, Sanchez. So the goal kick here for Zizak dropped right over to Yanez, bringing it up the field now. De Santiago, who sends it long. Delgado chasing, unable to keep it in. Good effort there from Delgado. Regents maintaining possession, looks to send it downfield, but broken up by Delgado. So another Regent throw in here. Abler gonna take this one again, sends it a little bit further down, but a rough touch there from Jacoby gives it right back to the Cougars. Substitutions for the Regents now into the game. Javier Palacios, as the Regents now have an opportunity here, coming down with numbers, drops it back to Jacoby. Jacoby one touch over, a little bit behind Gonzalez. Gonzalez drops it back here. Palacios sends it in with his left foot, able to connect with Gonzalez. Gonzalez gets it off, but it is blocked by the Cougars and kicked out. Finishing up those subs for the Regents, also on the field, number 16, Omar Olivo. As we see the immediate impact that Javier Palacios has, challenging Lehovitz for that ball, but Lehovitz does a great job shielding that away. Cougars coming up the field now. Pointer turns, looks to send it long, instead sends it backwards here. Cougars really favoring this near side here today. Just under 12 minutes to play here in the first half. Still a 0-0 score as that ball is sent far. Pointer unable to get ahead of it. Regents now 3 shots on the day. As that ball is booted far. A poor first touch from Yanez sends it backwards. Jacoby's chasing it down, challenging on that far side, and comes away with it for a second and is able to get the corner kick off of it. Really, really good soccer there from Jacoby. Get that first touch and then play your defender well enough that you can kick that ball off of them as you get that near that baseline on that end and secure a corner kick here. Their third corner kick of this game. As they get set here, this ball's in. Drops low. It was a good ball in the air, but somehow managed to get by low off the foot of a Cougar. Cougars now attacking. Good defense. Good defensive mindset there from the Regents. Slowing things down, playing the angles right. Pointer was moving fast at that diagonal angle there. Regents read it really good to be able to get a foot on it and break it up as the Cougars switch field here. Sends it over to Delgado. Delgado coming back through the middle. Crosses it once again. Ocampo on that far side drops it to Sinise. Sinise stumbles a little bit. Comes in, looks to get it off of his right foot. He does. That's going to be broken up by the Regents. A corner kick here for the Cougars. Regent's doing a really good job reading where the Cougars are going to be putting that ball. They've been able to break up many passes and shot attempts here as that ball's in and just misses the head of Garrett Pointer. Going to say that ball went off the head of a Regent. Cougars going to take another corner kick here. Delgado taking it here on this near side. Under 10 minutes now, still scoreless here in River Forest as that ball is up on the far side. Yanez with the head, doesn't get it through. Cougars still collect it here. Ocampo able to get it, bring it down. Cougars crowding into a little bit of space there, but Sinise able to get it off and send a cross ball in, but the Regents are going to break it up and boot that one out of here. Not just out of the field, but out of the stadium. That ball bounced over the fence on that far side, so Regents playing some lockdown defense. As this corner kick is up high in the air on that far side, Regents able to get ahead on it again. I believe that was Palacios once again getting up there, winning that ball, and the Regents now coming away. Palacios coming down, looking to play that space in the middle, and he does. A really, really great ball here down the middle. Gonzalez on his own and gets tripped up by the Cougars. Looks like Jacoby was offsides for a second, so he couldn't play the ball to him on this near side without losing possession, so kept that ball on his foot probably a little bit longer than he should have, but had nowhere to send it until Jacoby could get back onside, resulting in an unfortunate change of possession there for the Regents, but settling in their own backfield here. Regents now with control in the midfield, switches over. And it looks like Palacios once again was looking for that run, but the Regents making that run just half a second too late for where that ball's being played. Finding some really good passing lanes, but nobody's making that run in time, where the Cougars send that ball long. Sinise unable to get a good first touch on it. Regents send it long, but Yanez drops it back to Zizak. Cougars have some time to control here. Garcia bringing it up quick, looking to attack. Sends it long, but Regents break it up. Cougars not wanting to go into this half scoreless. We've seen in the last few minutes, the intensity seems to be amped up. Regents putting a lot of pressure on, had some really good goal-scoring opportunities of their own, and the Cougars responding with some serious intensity here. As Palacios strips that one away, it's played over for Jacoby. Jacoby stays on side. He could get a shot off here. A good shot, but it is knocked down by Zizak. Zizak with the two hands there up, deflects it off. And Jacoby tracks it down, looking to get another opportunity off of that deflection, but Zizak able to collect it. That ball was going out of bounds. Delgado thought he was able to get up and keep it in. A really good flick downfield if that would have stayed in, but unfortunately Delgado was out. So that's going to be a throw in here for the Regents, as we're going to see a handful of substitutions on both sides. About 6 minutes to play here in the half. These two teams still looking for their first goal of the day. Palacios sends that one downfield. Jacoby unable to get there first. Yanez drops it back to Zizak. A really, really scary drop there. Jacoby was tracking in. Yanez, instead of turning and playing sideline, sends it into the middle, so Zizak had no choice but to boot it away. So a throw in here for the Regents. As Gonzalez sends that ball deep in trouble, but Cougars able to bat it away. Yanez gets a head on it, knocks it out. A little bit of challenge here, but Regent's gonna get the throw and immediately sends it in. Palacios there, gets a header on it. Almost has Jacoby there, but Cougar defense bats it away. And a far out shot from Johnny Colin is gonna plop into the hands of Zizak. So under 5 minutes now here in River Forest. De Santiago looks to switch that ball, but instead it's going to be broken up. Gonzalez able to get it moving forward ahead, gets taken out. Jacoby also settling the ball now, has an opportunity, sends it over, and the Regents score first. A big-time goal from Palacios. Gets them on the board. A really, really fantastic opportunity there. Would not have been possible without the work that Gonzalez did, able to get that ball off of his foot and sent forward even through the contact. Refs allowed the possession to play on because Regents had a really good opportunity. And Jacoby able to get that ball over to Palacios, and the Regents strike first. 4:14 to go here in the first half. Palacios picks up his first goal of the season. Cougars now battling in a deficit in the final 4 minutes of the half. Garcia sends it down. Pointer collects it. But the Regents take control here. Cougars regain it. Sends it back over to Lehovitz. Really good pressure there from Juan Gaviria. Lehovitz now on the near side. Unable to connect there. Ocampo able to break it up, but the Regents clear it out. Regents attacking forward. Cougars settle it. Some space here now for the Cougars. Cougars on the far side now. A little bit of contact, but battling through, retaining possession. Xavier Avila unable to keep that ball in. Battled through that contact and was able to keep possession, but just on the turn there, lost it. Cougars starting to play a little bit frantic here in the final 3 minutes. Seeing some sloppier first touches. A little bit less communication as the Regents have drawn the foul there, takes the free kick. Two and a half minutes to play here in the first half. As Sarmiento takes this free kick, sends it far. Regents looking really good, connecting. Jacoby bringing it down, but Cougar defense collapsing in. 3 defenders it takes to stop him. But the Regents take that ball right back. Officially under 2 minutes in the half. Another throw in here for the Regents. We're going to see another sub coming in. The Regents been utilizing their bench really well. We've seen a lot of substitutions here, as we're going to see Palacios coming off the field as well as Gonzalez. 2 big contributors to that Regent goal that put him up. Palacios obviously with the goal himself, but the control that Gonzalez had started that entire drive there for the Regents. Cougars settling in the midfield here, drops it back. Yanez looks forward, finds Lehovitz here on this near side. Pointer looked to make that run, but had to stay on sides and cut back to the opposite direction. Ocampo here. Over to Ibarez. Ibarez on that far side to Avila. Regents batting it away. 30 seconds here to play in this first half. Cougars hoping to be able to find something here before this final buzzer goes off for the half. Another throw in, moving quickly, trying to get something going. Throw in high, but the Regents able to collect it. Cougars settle it, but that ball is batted away. Garcia backtracks, gets a head on it. Yanez with the boot up in the air. Regents send it backwards. And that's going to do it for the first half of soccer here. The opening game for the Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference, and the Regents took a 1-0 lead over the Cougars. A really good first half here for the Regents. After struggling a little bit in the first 10 minutes, coming back, Regents 6 shots, 3 of which were on goal, but none of that entirely matters when you've got the 1 up on the scoreboard as we get ready to head to halftime with the Regents ahead of the Cougars. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 45 minutes more to play in about 15 minutes. So I'm going to take a quick break as these teams do as well, and we'll be back on the Cougar Sports Network.
CUC nursing student and choose to stand tall for healing at a university that places Christ at the center and embraces teaching students to live a life fulfilled by purpose and meaning. Concordia University Chicago's new Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree is an innovative and rigorous 4-year program that will prepare you to rise to the daily challenges of a rewarding nursing career and serve a greater cause. Our newly built modern simulation center features 4 distinct spaces: a skills attainment lab, multi-specialty intensive care spaces, a health assessment learning center, and a simulated home environment. Due to our close proximity to many world-class teaching hospitals, CUC's clinical rotations offer an abundance of diverse and real-world experiences. Learn more about earning your BSN at a Christ-centered university today.
Monica here at Concordia University Chicago, and we're here outside of Concordia Hall. Concordia Hall is the university's newest residence hall, right on the edge of campus, perfect for students who want to explore the nearby downtown of Oak Park and River Forest. The flexible suite-style living in fully furnished bedrooms lets students choose what works best for them. Every floor is complete with a community lounge and full common kitchen, with a kitchenette, microwave, sink, and refrigerator. The first floor offers the Victory Lounge, connecting to 2 additional residence halls, with no shortage of ways to relax. You're also right next to an open, outdoor plaza, better known as Victory Lane. So now we're here in Concordia Hall's suite-style dorm room, and this is a really nice place to just hang out and chill. And since it's so big, there's plenty of room to spread out and do your homework and just relax. So now making our way into one of the bedrooms, there's plenty of space in this room for you and your roommate. A lot of times students will move the desks so that they've got their separate study space, but my roommate and I, we get along really well, so we can just work together here in the same space. Sometimes I like doing art as well, as you can see by the painting here. It's a 16 by 10 feet space, And most rooms on campus are 10 by 12 feet, so it's really nice to have a little extra space to work with here in Concordia Hall. So this hall is super close to the chapel and the Kennecke Community Center, which has the new Crossroads Dining Hall, so the location is super convenient. And I really love the city scene too. The location here is the closest on campus to the Oak Park River Forest downtown area, which has a ton of great stores and restaurants. Speaking of the city scene, I adore the view from this lounge because you can see the Chicago skyline right there. Concordia Hall at Concordia University, Chicago.
Welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network here for some second half action. Regents leading the Cougars, joined now by Dave Deimling. Dave, welcome to the broadcast for the day.
Thank you, thank you.
Cougars controlled most of that first half against the Regents, but the Regents were able to strike first. Looks like the Regents might have put a new keeper in at half. They were warming up a new one, and historically have been playing a couple keepers a game, but looks like they're sticking with what's working for them. As we get set here, Cougars take it off and go quick.
Yeah, it definitely seems like they're going to be kind of changing the overall way of how they're going to have to attack this half. They try to dominate in many different ways in the first half for the Cougars overall. As you get what looks like a foul there.
So Regent's going to get a set piece here now.
Looks like it. Sorry, go ahead.
Quinn Vukovic is going to be taking it here for them. This ball goes up high. Regents unable to get ahead on it, but that ball's going to be booted wide there.
Yeah, that was a pretty deep shot attempt right there by the Regents. Unable to capitalize overall on the free kick opportunity.
Again, we've seen the Cougars winning the ball in the air pretty consistently all game. So a ball high up like that has been in favor of the Cougars. Regents just unable to get it, as little collision there between the Cougars and the Regents, but play is continued on. Looks like it was Gonzalez and Ocampo that collided a little bit, but continuing on, the Cougars maintain possession here.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting half overall for the Cougars when because you get a little chase down right here.
Yeah, Tokar is able to collect it, drop it back here. That ball sent across the field. Avila with the boot, but Cougars maintaining possession, settle it back down. We saw the Cougars attacking pretty heavily in the first half. First 20 minutes or so of the game was mostly just the Cougars attacking. They held the Regents to no shots. And slowly throughout that half, we saw the Regents starting to pick back up and the Cougars unable to connect on passes, as we see here, and the Regents just capitalizing on it.
Yeah, you look at the first half stats overall, it kind of looks like the Cougars did a really sound job overall in every category other than, of course, the goal category, which is pretty unfortunate as a Cougar fan. But it kind of seems like they're going to have to try and stick with the process overall and get a little come from behind win today here. So you're going to get a throw in here for the Cougars. Looks to be number 23.
As the Cougars now settle it, Yanez brings it back up, sends it to Avila. Avila finds De Santiago in the middle. De Santiago, one touch, a really clean pass, but Pointer unable to get that through ball to go through. Regent defense playing really well. A clear attempt there from Todic, but broken up. Cougars have an opportunity here on the far side. Delgado can't get a piece of it, and a really good opportunity for the Cougars. Delgado on that far side, but Sarmiento able to come out and grab that ball.
Looks like Ibarra from the Regents got a little tangled up there on the play. Not something you ever want to see right there, clutching his knee.
Yeah, an unfortunate collision there. Cougars able to capitalize on that win. Nothing malicious on the play, just an unfortunate collision. And it kind of set up that little Cougar run that we had there. But once again, Sarmiento doing a fantastic job in goal for the Regents. Talked about it a little bit in the first half, but had a career-high 9 saves in the Regents' last game against Illinois Wesleyan. And we've seen him already today collect 5. So on pace to break his career high should he stay in the game for the Regents.
Yeah, and that, of course, is all going to come down to how well the Cougars are going to be able to respond coming out of the locker room after that first half. That was a little bit disappointing. I think overall it's going to just kind of come down to, are the Cougars going to be able to keep applying that pressure and stay in the offensive third that they're going to want to be in all day? I think overall they're just going to have to stay smooth on the passing side. You started to see a little bit of struggling as some of their passes aren't quite getting through. They're starting to get a little sloppy coming out of the half already.
Cougars in an unfamiliar spot. They have not been held to 0 goals at all so far this season. They've scored in every game that they've played. So being scoreless and down right now is an unfamiliar spot for this Cougar squad to be in. Regents have officially taken control of this game. As you mentioned, playing a little bit sloppy the Cougars are now. So being able to settle things back down and take control is exactly what they're looking to do. As Regents still tending down there to Samuel Frisch, the sophomore out of Greendale, Wisconsin. Gets up and he's able to walk off the field on his own, which is always a promising sign. The Concordia athletic training staff tending to him. Thankful to see him able to get up and walk it off. There's nothing worse than seeing a player down for an extended amount of time like this, but being able to walk off the field is always a good sign. So the Regents will resume play here with a goal kick.
Ref gives the whistle and play resumes.
So not a goal kick for the Regents. A live ball was in action there. So Sarmiento now with the boot in the air, but the Cougars able to come down with it. Ocampo on that far side. Sends it midfield to De Santiago. De Santiago coming across to Yanez.
Looks like the Cougars are coming out a little bit more patient after that injury timeout. A little bit more cautious. A little bit smoother overall. We'll see how that pans out as they give it away right there back to the Regents.
A good boot down for the Regents. And Yanez tracking it down, but a scary place to be. Jacoby coming in quick, and we saw him have success on that pressure, that one-on-one pressure in the first half. That's how Regents were able to get their first goal of the day. So Cougars needing to be a little bit more conscious of who's tracking them on those long balls, because Jacoby is a threat to this Cougar squad. As we see him again challenging Yanez, Jacoby able to collect the ball. A little bit of tug on the jersey. Jacoby gets shoved. Yanez unhappy with that challenge from Jacoby, and it's going to result in a free kick here for the Regents. Jacoby, one of 3 Regents with a goal on the season.
Yeah, Jacoby kind of took a tough fall there, comes up on his own will and just kind of walks off a little gingerly, but he's good to go, it looks like.
Vukovic taking this free kick, sends it to that far side. Regents able to win the header. Abler able to get that as that ball's batting around a little bit in the air. Vukovic again able to get a foot on it, and the Regents going to maintain possession here. Coming down that far side of the field, looking to get that cross in. Cougars playing some strong defense as that ball is kicked away. Omar Olivo looking to send that ball in for the cross. There was a couple Regents in the box in a dangerous spot, but good defense from the Cougars to bat that away and force the corner kick. As this ball is up in the air and unable to make contact with it was Palacios. Looked to try to get a one-touch kick with his right foot, but made no contact, so that ball got through. But the Regents maintain possession, now batting around in the midfield a little bit. Cougars coming down. A little bit of a tie-up there with Ocampo. And they're going to give that free kick to the Regents. Ocampo got tied up. He was a little bit trapped between 2 Regents, but a wraparound arm is a for sure call there. So another free kick for the Regents.
Yeah, that's one of those interesting spots where everyone's starting to get a little bit more aggressive the more deeper we get into the second half, especially the Cougars a little bit frustrated. Oh, it's a great save right there. Wow.
Absolutely. I mean, a well-placed ball for Vukovic. And the Regents won that ball in the air, got a head on it, and
just a full extension layout right there from Zizek, just making a play when a play had to be made.
yeah, absolutely. Looks like they were going to call him offsides, though, with a free kick up there. Or potentially not. Maybe they're going back to... Nope, they are going to say that. So a free kick here for the Cougars, just on the on the near side, excuse me. So play resumes. Cougars coming down the field. A long ball there. Played to Delgado. Delgado's got the speed, looking to turn that corner, sends that ball in. Cougars can't get a hold of it there, and a grab from Sarmiento. A really, really good ball played in for Vicente Romero.
Really dangerous right there for the Regents. It looked like that ball kind of trickled out of the keeper's hands for a little too long. If the Cougars spotted it a little bit more, that could have been danger all over. We could have had a tie ball game for sure.
Absolutely. A really good spot. Romero was playing the ball really well, just unable to connect on it. As that ball is cleared out by Garcia. Cougars batting it around a little bit, trying to maintain control. Romero now with the ball in the midfield, looking to do something here. Switches it over to Ocampo. Ocampo coming up, sends that ball down. Broken up by the Regents. This is something the Regents have been really good at all game, Dave. They've been seeing those passing lanes, and even if they're not able to maintain the possession off of it, they've been able to get a foot on that ball and stop the Cougars from finding some momentum.
That's one of the things that can be very just a little bit frustrating right there for the Cougars is just the constant feet in the passing lanes over and over. It can get really tiring at points when it's just every single time. You got to make 4 passes in a row, and you can't get past 2 before it gets stolen time and time again.
Absolutely. So the Regents really been getting inside the Cougars' head and frustrating them a little bit. We've seen it as the Cougars, you mentioned earlier, the Cougars started to play a little bit sloppy. We're seeing them settle down a little bit here as a bad first touch from Avila fortunately works out in the end for the Cougars. We're going to see a couple substitutions here to slow things down a little bit. Couple fresh sets of legs on field for the Cougars. One on the back line, one here in the midfield. Cougars looking to move forward here. De Santiago over to Romero, looking to switch the field. Sends it far side. Drops it down to Delgado. Delgado now settling. Sends it in with the right foot. Finds Tokars on the far side. And unable to settle it and get a shot off was Tokars. But Cougars doing a really good job pressuring here with the ball in their offensive zone. Throw in here for the Regents. A good turn, but Cougars take possession over.
Yeah, Regents doing a really good job just keeping them outside the offensive end overall. They're not too focused on staying aggressive with going for another goal necessarily right now, but they're just kind of being really smart with their bend, don't break kind of style of defense right now. Just that you can have it for a little bit right here, but as soon as you get a little too tight, a little too close to the keeper, you're losing the ball immediately.
Absolutely. As Pointer loses that one off of his foot, Regents clear it out. Yanez has some time to track it down, instead takes the throw in. So Avila going to take the throw in. Sends it down, finds Pointer. Pointer turns, gets a good touch. Romero now with some space, gets through one defender. Can't get the ball off of his foot in time, but that is going to be a Cougar corner kick. A really good spot for this Cougar squad to be in. As Romero now going to take this corner kick. puts this ball in the air on the backside. The Regents win it in the air, but De Santiago just outside the box settles it. Cougars now taking some time to reset their offense. Drops it back down to Romero. Looks to send it in, but gets blocked by the Regents. A 1-2 touch here. Romero finds space. Tokars with the shot attempt, but it gets blocked. Now taken out in the box. Cougars once again retain possession. And they're going to say the Cougars were offsides on that attempt.
Really disappointing opportunity right there for the Cougars. It looked like they had a handful of chances right there to put one in the back of the net and just could not capitalize at all. That's another backbreaker when you're looking back. If the Cougars end up losing this game, you take a look at that one in the film and it's kind of a head scratcher. How do we miss that opportunity overall? It's just a little unfortunate, but they got to find a way to bounce back and find a way to get more opportunities just like that, because they're bound to score with those kind of chances.
Absolutely. A really good ball that was played in, like you mentioned, just one of those things that you look back at, and it's a learning experience too, being able to see that on the film and know that you have that opportunity. Good defense there from the Cougars to stop that run, but the Regents attack as Palacio sends that one in and has an opportunity, but a goal kick now for the Cougars. That front line for the Regents has been playing really well today. Javier Palacios paired with Rayhan Jacoby, really, really dangerous up there for the Regents. They're quick. They've got the height. They're winning balls in the air. A very, very dangerous duo that's causing some trouble here now.
Yeah, it just kind of seems like they're in on every play. Every time they're on, no matter where they are on the field, they're always getting a touch here and there, and it seems to make a big difference, big impact on every play.
Absolutely. As Jacoby called offsides on that one, Cougars got a little bit lucky as they take it down the field now, looking to score here. Cougars moving quickly as the Regents boot that ball out of here. Once again, not just out of the field, but out of the stadium, heads over towards the tennis courts. When the Regents want a ball cleared, they clear the ball.
Yeah, that's to say the least. You've kind of seen that a couple times today. It's just some booming clearings overall. A
really good ball played in. Tokar's here on the near side, jumping up and down, waving his arms, trying to let everybody know that he's got space, and that ball was played in just a bit too hard. If that ball is dropped a little bit more shallow, that's a really good touch for Tokar's to be able to have an opportunity there.
Just about 15 minutes into this second half. It looks to be about the same as it was when we went into the half. Not a whole lot's changed overall. It looks like Rockford's kind of starting to level the playing field a little bit if you're looking at the stat sheet, but the Cougars have not been able to level it as far as they have not found the equalizer at all.
As the Regents pushing, Cougars wanted an offside call, and the flag finally goes up. Again, Jacoby on that far side, he's involving himself in every play, and he's making the right runs. In the first half, the Regents had a problem where they would send the ball, and your front line would make that run just a half a second too late. So that ball would move into space with nobody there to get there. Seems like this half they're having a little bit of a problem where they're sending that ball a touch too late now. So Jacoby making those correct runs, and they're making the correct passes, just not in sync.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that you're gradually just going to figure out how each player kind of runs the pitch overall the deeper you get into one of these seasons. It's definitely challenging when for a fall sport when you don't have too much time with.
Ooh, a really good opportunity there. Tokar sends that ball in. Almost looked like that was going to be an on-frame shot for Tokar's, but Pointer came sprinting down the middle, making the diving attempts, and just misses the touch, which could have put that one in and equalized this game.
Yeah, really good centering pass right there. Pointer just a little bit too late there. It's kind of one of the stories that you've seen a lot this year, especially at the home turf with Pointer. He gets so close to so many goals, and he just barely misses them a handful of times. But he's well overdue to get hit one of his Sports Center caliber plays.
Absolutely. I think it goes back to what we were just talking about with the Regents being just a little bit out of touch. A little bit of a scuffle there between, but Cougars moving quickly. But what we were talking about with the Regents being a little bit out of sync with each other, we're seeing it happen with the Cougars as well. Pointer makes that run just a split second earlier. We have that opportunity as the Cougars now in a good spot. Looks for the handball. Cougars wanted that handball call. Referee says absolutely not. An unintentional ball there. Some space here on the near side. This Cougar crowd getting amped up with these opportunities. Delgado with the shot, blocked by the Regents, settled by the Cougars. A little bit of miscommunication there for Ocampo. Challenge successful. Cougar fans and the Cougar bench want that flag up, but they're not going to call it as we see this danger squad for the Regents. A ball played in for Gaviria, and he misses it.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to send that about a country mile past the goal right there. Swinging for it all. Just probably got his sights set a little too early. Just started thinking about what the celebration was going to be before he put that one through, and that might have cost him another goal. That looked like a pretty routine shot there.
Absolutely. Jacoby did a fantastic job of staying onside, waiting half a second, and then making that run. And with the defenders in spot, I mean, Jacoby played that ball well, and if you get a one touch before trying to boot that ball, that's a very dangerous shot for the Regents. As Avila with the pullback sends that one across. Regents break it up. Cougars settle it here with De Santiago. His Regent defense has been on lockdown in the second half. Freshman Jackson Martingale batted that one away as that ball misses high through the uprights.
You can start to tell that the Cougars are starting to get a little bit more nervous. Maybe not nervous quite, but a little bit more frantic, a little more aware. The clock's kind of ticking down as you're getting about 19 minutes off the clock now in the second half. They're starting to, it's slowly but surely starting to turn into crunch time. Obviously still time, but it's definitely in the back of your mind right now.
Absolutely. I mean, that's kind of exactly what you saw out of that shot there from De Santiago. Not that it's a bad shot, but it's not an ideal shot to be taking with this much time left on the clock, and taking a shot from 30 yards out it's a tough shot to make in general. So we're seeing some of those rush things, a little bit of frantic here coming. Cougars having some really good opportunities, but not capitalizing on it is going to hurt them in the long run. As that ball looked good from here, as Ocampo turned that corner and was able to get a shot off with his strong foot, but misses wide.
It's starting to look like the same thing a few more times, just as we talked about. Just a little over-the-top aggressiveness. Nothing wrong with aggressiveness, but it just can't turn into the chaos factor that is not going to find you the equalizer when it's just too frantic overall. You're getting a push right here from the Cougars.
Absolutely. Delgado on the far side here, playing around a little bit. Can't get the ball off of his foot. Good defense from the Regents. De Santiago there to collect it. Switches field here, Tokars. Drops over to Avila. Avila with the send in. Can't get through. The Regent defense once again on lockdown. Not letting any balls through with ease.
Regents cleared that one, and that one, I believe, got into the stands on that one, believe it or not.
Like I said before, when they clear the ball, they clear it out of there. They want everybody to know that they mean business here. Yana sends it over here. Romero with a shot just wide once again. Cougars struggling to put a shot on frame in this second half, circling back to playing a little frantic and a little nervous, taking some rushed shots. I think that's a really good shot for Romero to take, but you got to put it on frame here. Cougars win yet another ball in the air. And it's going to be settled here on the near side. And a throw in for the Cougars. This Regent defense working overtime to keep their lead here. Cougars held the ball in their offensive zone most of this half, but the Regents not making it easy for them, that's for sure. As that ball's played, Tokars gets a foot on it and sends it up. And on the top of the net, a really, really good ball in from Tokars, just unable to keep it in.
Yeah, a handful of really good passes down there as they were running that sideline, then just missed a great opportunity right there. Really good thought, though.
Absolutely. Tokars a newbie on this Cougar squad, one of the many, but he's been an immediate impact player for the Cougars as a transfer coming in as a junior. Having a little bit of experience at this level is huge. And we've definitely seen that as Delgado now coming down, sends that ball in for Pointer, but the Regent defense is there. Tokars able to get it, settles it over, sends it over to Ocampo. Ocampo turns, left-footed shot, gets deflected by the Regents. And Todic chasing it down, trying to prevent the corner kick, but the Cougars going to capitalize on it. Again, that's that back line for the Regents being really pesky and locked down on defense. The Cougars had some really good opportunities, but that ball didn't even get the chance to see the keeper because the Regents back line is just blocking every opportunity that the Cougars have.
Yeah, that was a beautiful effort overall by the Cougars. Just a little bit better defense from the Regents, of course, and then they just find themselves kind of not a great corner kick opportunity, but they still have possession. Another chance to do something with it right here.
Avila drops it back here for the Cougars, taking advantage of the space that they have. Ibarez crosses it. Cougars starting to sink back, settle their offense a little bit. Sends that ball to the far side. Cuts back into the middle, sends it in. Can't quite get to Pointer. Instead deflected out by the Regents. A bad first touch there for Jurgensen. Is going to hand it right back over to the Cougars. Cougars now coming down. Yanez splits some defenders, gets the ball off his foot to Pointer. One touch over. A little back and forth there, sets up a really good spot for Tokars, but can't quite get through as that ball is going to be a throw-in for the Cougars. The Regents wanted it, but Cougars move fast. And Cougars got lucky there. A sloppy throw-in for the Cougars almost resulted in the Regents taking control. As that ball's played in the middle for Romero, dropped back to Ibarez.
This is kind of what you've been hoping to see, though, out of CUC, just really retaining the possession on the offensive side for a handful of minutes now, just kind of making sure that if it's going to be on this side of the pitch, it gives you a better chance, of course, to find that equalizer that we've been talking about and looking for.
Absolutely. A great touch there from Tokars. Can't quite get the ball off of his foot in time. Took one too many touches. Kind of trucking through everybody here. The Regents looking for a call on Tokars. Kind of just a little bit stronger than the Regents, I think, and just bumped him off the ball as Pointer was hoping to get a turn on that and instead sent that ball out of bounds. We're going to see a handful of substitutions here for the Regents. Quite a few on this defensive end. Makes a lot of sense as the Regents have been playing in their defensive half for the majority of this half. So getting some fresh legs on the field and trying to continue to have a strong back line is exactly what the Regents need to hold on to their lead here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how both these teams utilize the bench in the final 20 minutes of the match. That's one of the great things that the coaching staff for CUC has been able to kind of access this year that they didn't have in last year specifically, where they kind of struggled with that depth portion overall that coaches kind of talked about all at the start of this year, that with bringing in a lot more of his guys overall, it's really going to help the cause overall and then what they're kind of trying to build as a program in the future.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen a lot of new faces on this Cougar squad. Delgado bringing up the ball for the Cougars, one of them. So being able to rely on your bench, as you were saying, is going to be huge as this ball is bouncing back and forth. The environment here at Concordia Stadium is getting ramped up. There's going to be a stoppage on the clock here. Officials, it looks like there might have been too many guys on the field, as we're going to see Juan Gaviria get carded. Yeah, it looks like they were playing with 12 on the field there for a while before the officials noticed.
It's almost incredible how long that was able to last without anyone catching an eye for it. The subs came in what felt about at least almost a minute ago, but all's well that ends well as they get a card and we play on, it looks like.
Absolutely, as Cougars take control now.
Cougars kind of playing it off. A lot of muscle right there from the Rockford Regents as they're just trying to muscle them off the ball, not quite able to. They'll get sent back to Giannis. He's looking, not sure what to do quite. He's going to push the pace a little bit.
Cougars now here trying to take advantage. Regents playing on a yellow card after that. A little bit of an instance, but it's going to be a physical 20 minutes here. As that ball is sent down, Avila able to collect it. A first touch that keeps him in it. He's able to take it over, looks to get it off of his foot, bounces off of the Regents a little bit. And the Regents boot it out of there. Throw in here for the Cougars. But some substitutions here for CUC.
Yeah, almost a wave of just fresh defenders coming in for the Cougars, or offenders, excuse me.
As we see a lot of that front line for the Cougars coming off, Pointer, Tokars, replaced with some fresh legs here. Coach Callahan trying to find something different. We've seen some really good things out of Tokars and Pointer, to be specific, but haven't been able to find the net and getting a little bit tired from playing so much. So some fresh legs in here on this near side, seeing Ronaldo Joseph and Omar Figueroa hoping to get a little bit of a switch up here for the Cougars. As Yanez brings the ball down the middle. Couple one touches here for the Cougars. Romero switches. Finds Sinise on that far side. And a throw in here for the Cougars. 17 minutes to play here in the NAC opener between the Regents and the Cougars. Regents still sitting on top of the Cougars as that ball is batted around in the air. Nobody able to settle it yet. Cougars able to find it, but still bouncing around quite a bit. It's going to be a throw in here for the Cougars. Kicked out by the Regents. Cougars bringing it back into the middle. Finds Figueroa on the far side, or on the near side, excuse me. Figueroa bouncing around a little bit, drops it back, but a little bit too far. Romero able to collect it, drop it back to Ibarez.
Cougars look to have just gotten muscled off the ball a little bit there, but are able to retain possession.
As we see the Regents break up a pass yet again, doing a fantastic job. Roth got his foot in the passing lane and able to retain possession for a quick second before the Cougars took it back over. But, I mean, like we mentioned before, Regents being pesky and just getting in the way of the Cougars.
Yeah, it's rather incredible the overall time that they've spent on the offensive side in this half and don't really have a whole lot of shots to show for it.
Absolutely, as Sinise takes a shot and it's saved, bounces back. Cougars have an opportunity here. Keep retaining possession, and the Regents finally get it out of there. I think that's the first on-frame shot for the Cougars this half.
That might be the announcer jinx right there. As soon as I say it, just speak it right into existence. Really good try right there. Unfortunate, we're not able to capitalize. Really good save over there by the man in turquoise.
Absolutely. Sarmiento doing his thing, having another great game for the Regents. 6 total saves. Some really good saves he's had that's stopped the Cougars from putting one up on the board, as Sinise had an opportunity to tie this game up. So some substitutions here for the Regents. As play gets ready to resume here. This ball is booted, and one in the air by the Regents. A great flick there for Gonzalez. Gonzalez sends it downfield. A little bit of a battle here. Maldonado trying to get in front of the defender, but Maldonado's going to get called for the foul. Free kick for the Cougars. CUC looking to move quick, sending this ball upfield. Sinise on the far side gets past the defender, looking to turn a corner here. Gets a little bit of a shove from behind, and they're going to give him a card here. A really, really good opportunity for Sinise to send that ball in. Had Ronaldo Joseph trailing in the box, so a potentially goal-scoring opportunity there, but an aggressive push from the back gives the Cougars a free kick just outside of the box.
Yeah, that could have been a very interesting way how that was going to break down overall if it wasn't for that card right there. But we'll see how that ends up panning out for the Regents. It might have been the correct play almost. We'll see how it pans out right here, though.
Absolutely. So Cougars getting set to take this free kick. Regents opting not to have many people in a wall, instead marking and locking down inside the box. Done a great job so far today. Not only with the saves, but deflecting. That ball's up, kicked up by Avila. That ball's up in the air. Cougars can't get a head on it, and the Regents clear it out. A really, really, really great defensive piece there for the Regents.
Yeah, I think every player in purple right there was in the box, just defending any kind of airstrike that they were going to try and plan for. But
yet another cleared ball out into the bleachers from the foot of the Regents. Regents a little bit of a slower offense this season so far, but their defense has been keeping them alive. As I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, the Regents only scored 2 goals in their 5 games played so far on the season, but their third one came today. But I can see why they might not have as many goal-scoring opportunities, because their defense is so stellar. They're playing lockdown defense consistently throughout the game. As the Regents winning that ball in the air once again. Cougars coming down with it now. As a great slide tackle there breaks up the pass. That ball switched over to the far side for the Cougars.
a little bit of a collision there. It looks like they're going to get the call. Cougars will take over right here.
Another free kick for the Cougars, but that was Palacios once again getting up in the defensive end. We mentioned him on the offensive end being in pretty much every play that you could imagine. He's seeing the ball all the time, but he's also been just as pesky on defense with his height, sitting at 6'2", one of the taller members on this Regent squad. It's important to have him battling on that defensive end as well.
Yeah, height definitely does not go unnoticed on the pitch overall. You'll see a strong mix of height overall, but when you have the ability to provide a little bit more length, it's definitely going to be a potential game changer.
A really, really bad touch there from Omar Figueroa. Almost gave the Regents an opportunity, but the Cougars able to get it back here and try to take control. Another little collision here in the midfield. The official says play on, and the Cougars do, taking it up that far side of the field. Sinise looking to get it in and can't get that ball off his foot quick enough, broken up by the Regents, but Ocampo going to settle it in the midfield here. Sinise now with an opportunity coming in. Gets past the defender, gets a shot off, and just misses wide. Sarmiento made the diving attempt. I think he also thought that that was going to be on frame. It looked really good, but just missed the target.
Yeah, I think Sarmiento had that planned out perfectly. He's able to cover the full length of the frame right there, and that's That's going to be a huge deal for them right there. You can only find so many more chances with the final 12 minutes left to go in this match.
Absolutely. And Sinise, we've seen him a little bit in this half have those opportunities, being able to turn that corner and get the ball to his strong foot and get a shot off, just unfortunately not able to find frame. As free kick here for the Cougars. Cougars moving really quick, trying to get things going. Again, under 12 minutes to play now in the game, still trailing 1-0 to the Regents. Crunch time is officially hit, Dave. The Cougars they've got time to get things going, but not a whole lot.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think the main issue right now for the Cougars is time. Time is not their friend at the moment. They're going to have to try and keep the pace going in every opportunity they get. It's going to be interesting to see how Coach Callahan kind of manages the subs overall, with the idea that this clock will not stop for the losing team when they're making substitutions. So it's going to be interesting to see, is he willing to bring in those fresh legs overall as we keep winding down, or is he just going to let them play and just kind of see if they're able to show off the mental willpower overall and just kind of keep grinding through with these last 10 minutes and change left?
Absolutely. One of those new changes this year is that the team that is up will have the clock stopped for all substitutions 15 minutes left in the game. So anytime the Regents look to sub from this point on, the clock will stop. But if the Cougars sub at all, the clock will continue to run. So it is interesting to keep an eye on it, potentially see this be our final squad for the remainder of this 10 minutes as Cougars look to bring the ball. Figueroa sends it over to Sinise. Sinise coming down. And once again, Sinise gets taken out on that far side, and we're going to see yet another yellow card issued for a push in the back from Sinise, or against Sinise, I should say.
Yeah, it looks like the coach for the Regents is not happy at all either, screaming from his bench, just absolutely livid with his players right there. He's not a fan of the kind of over the top, to the point where it's no longer aggressive. It's just not clean, rather disrespectful style of play right there.
Absolutely. Johnny Colin issued the yellow card for that, giving the Cougars a free kick opportunity just outside of the box, a dangerous spot for the Cougars.
Yeah, the Regents lining up in kind of a different set here, setting up the wall with three guys, and then not everyone's quite in the box here.
As that ball is up and bounces off the uprights of the football field goal there. So not going to be able to remain in play. Another foot lower, and that ball potentially would have gone into the top of the net, but just missing. Gives the Regents a goal kick here.
Yeah, the game really is a matter of a few inches or feet at times, right? We could be looking at a completely different ball game if it's only a foot or two lower. But we are not, unfortunately, and here we are. Regents will take the ball right here.
Absolutely, a really good offensive flick there for the Regents from Palacios. As we're going to get another clock stoppage here. The officials not happy with the time wasting as the Regents take their time batting the ball around. So the official stops the clock as they get ready, and that ball is launched in there from Gonzalez. Regents with an opportunity here. Palacios gets a touch on it, but it is broken up by the Cougars. Gonzalez settles it back down, looks to get a shot off, and instead boots that ball out of here. And over the fence again. Count it. We need a counter on the live stream here for the amount of times that ball has left Concordia Stadium at the hands of the Regents. We've got to be looking 10+ today.
I'd say comfortably so, Miss McLeod. I think it's incredible the amount of times they're just willing to send it. I can't imagine how far away we are from them putting one on the baseball field, as that's just adjacent to the football or the pitch here.
Absolutely. A run there from Sinise, almost taken out of bounds and giving the Regents a goal kick, but Sinise sacrifices his body to keep that ball in bounds, but unfortunately not in favor of the Cougars, sending the ball back upfield for the Regents. A throw in here, booted downfield. Cougars content settling here, looks to turn, but the Regents get an opportunity. Palacios takes it one-on-one with the keeper, beats it, has an open net, and finds the back of the goal. A really, really sloppy play from the Cougars defense here. Gives the opportunity to Palacios, and what a fantastic goal-scoring opportunity. He read that really well and was able to get that one past the goalkeeper and put the Regents up 2-0. Potentially the dagger in the game here.
Yeah, that's a huge second goal right there. Could be all for the Cougars right there. Is that?
Cougars now looking to get things going here. A quick restart after the Regent goal. Bringing the ball down the field. Avila looking to settle. Sends that ball for Joseph. Joseph able to get ahead on it. Coming into the corners, Figueroa. Figueroa settles it. Looks to get past. Gets past a couple defenders. Sends that ball in, but can't get contact there. Regents breaking it up once again.
Yeah, it's going to be a really uphill battle now the rest of the way for the Cougars. They're not only chasing one, but chasing two now. It's going to be definitely a tough task here for the next 7 minutes. We'll see how if they're able to pull it out.
A really good shot opportunity there from Avila. Put on frame, and a one-handed save from Sarmiento puts it out of play and gives the Cougars a corner kick. Sarmiento having himself a fantastic game in goal as that ball is booted up through the uprights.
And there's another one that just exits. Wow, this is incredible right here. I don't think I've seen this in all my time watching the Cougar soccer team here.
Sarmiento now with 7 saves on the day. 2 more to tie his career high in 6 minutes of play. As Avila gets that ball in to Ibarra, as Ibarra is switching field here. The Regents still heavily pressing in the front. Cougars needing to attack here smart. Romero waving his hands, thought he had a run easily available as the Cougars find a touch here, but can't quite get the ball off of his foot. Regents once again breaking it up. Christian Ibarra had that one in the middle of the field as this ball is sent forward for Jacoby. Jacoby on his own. No other Regents trailing right now. Cougars collapsing in, but Jacoby's going to take it all on his own. Looks to send it in and finds the net. A fantastic opportunity for Jacoby to get the Cougars down 3-0 here with 5 minutes to play.
The entire bench just goes over for the celebration there, as now it's turning into a rather tough scene here as they're trailing 3-0 now.
Yeah, it's an absolutely unfortunate situation here for the Cougars. As 5 minutes to play here now, the Regents have officially scored more goals in this game than they have in their previous 5 games combined. So a really good offensive performance here from the Regents. Hey, how about we can have a conversation after this? Looking to get things going. 5 minutes to go here, pressing in the offense, taking control here of the game.
Yeah, the opening game for conference play for the Cougars is not exactly going how Coach Callahan had planned all along, but they're going to have to kind of bounce back. As you look ahead this week on Saturday, they're going to have a matchup against Lakeland, which should be another opportunity to come away with a win. As Lakeland's 1-4 on the year, and they're also having their conference opener today, later tonight against St. Norbert. So we'll see how that looks later this week. But
another set of substitutions here for the Regents. Looking to get things going here as that ball's coming down. Staying onside is Andrew Roth. Cougar defense sinking in. Able to break that one up a little bit. Still battling over on that far corner. And the Regents are going to pull a corner kick out of it. Cougars looking defeated already here. Heads down, having a hard time combating this offensive performance from the Regents. Regents really just jumped out ahead here in this last 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, the Cougars were in this contest for a good portion of it, and then it just got rather out of hand really quickly in the last 5 or 10 minutes of this match, and all of a sudden it's almost turned into just a really tough scene overall.
Absolutely, as the Regents collect yet another corner kick. These first half stats, the Cougars were leading in all areas except for goals, obviously. And coming into this second half, the Regents really just kind of taking control and, still having success here over the Cougars. Obviously 2 goals put away in this second half, but everywhere else the Cougars have been competing just as much. Cougars outshooting the Regents in the second half 10-5. Cougars with, before that last corner kick, more corners than the Regents, now tied up at 3 apiece in the second half. But possession-wise, for the majority of this second half, the Cougars had possession in the offensive end, and the Regents just capitalizing on their few opportunities that they had.
I think one of the things you got to look at too is when you're Coach Callahan, do you go back to the drawing board, or do you kind of just how do you reevaluate the situation when you look at it and you realize you pulled your junior keeper at about the 26-minute mark, and after that the freshman kind of gave up 3 goals. The junior was playing relatively well, hadn't given up anything, so it's kind of an interesting spot where it's like, is it more of an experience thing for that freshman, or does he get another chance on Saturday, or do you go back to the junior? Do you look at the rest of your bench and say who's capable of playing keeper this week? But all questions that will be answered later this week, and we're going to have to see what that looks like overall when they head to Plymouth.
Absolutely. I mean, the Cougars have a number of goalkeepers listed on their roster. Obviously, we saw junior goalkeeper Kyle Schultz making the start today before getting swapped out here for Chase Zizak. But additionally, the Cougars have been seeing freshman Nathan Gudiel, in the goal quite a bit. But additionally listed Roberto Romero, who's a senior goalkeeper for the squad. So there's a lot of options in the goal for Coach Callahan to be making these adjustments as needed. But Cougars have a player down on the field here on this near side, Xavier Avila. They're going to call for a substitution for him, as thankfully he's able to get up and walk off the field, going to make his way around. So we're going to see a substitution come on for him, but the clock is stopped and we are under 2 minutes to play here in the NAC opener, as a couple more substitutions are going to make their way to the field for this final minute 43. So we're going to see Bernardo Delgado making his way back onto the field for Avila. Cougars have a minute and 30 to work here, keeping the ball in their offensive zone. Regents still not backing down, being pesky on defense. We're seeing them still attempt to break up those passes, get in the way. They're not going to let the Cougars have anything easy, as that ball is sent down, and unable to chase it down is Jacob Coverman, the freshman out of Carroll Stream, Illinois. So Regent's going to take their dear sweet time here as we enter the final minute of play.
If all goes according to plan for the Regents, this will be their first win of the season after coming off a tough stretch. Started off 0-5, but this will put them right where they want to be for conference play overall, as they're look 1-0 in conference, and that'll be all they care about at this point.
Absolutely. And the Regents, they didn't have an easy non-conference schedule. They were playing some really good teams. You know, their last game before coming to play the Cougars was against Illinois Wesleyan, who was a CCIW tournament qualifier last season. So in addition, they played Milliken, who's another top team in the CCIW. And then, you know, you've got Knox College, Ripon, and Whitewater, who all have some very strong squads. So though it's surprising to see 0-5 listed on a team's record, it's not surprising when you look at the competition and realize that they're playing some really hardy teams. So, and seeing how this Rockford squad has been playing defensively and obviously offensively, it makes a lot of sense to see those results. As the final countdown is going, Roth with the last second flick in the attempt to get things moving, but the Cougars are going to fall in the NAC home opener here against the Regents. Final score 3-0. We'll look at some final stat lines here. Overall, the Regents 11 shots to the Cougars 20. Regents had 6 shots on goal, Cougars 7, and Regents 6 corners compared to the Cougars 9. So realistically, Dave, looking at that little bit of a breakdown here, yes, the Cougars outshot the Regents 20-11, but when you look at shots on goal, which are the shots that matter, because those are the ones that are on frame and making a game exciting, the Regents had 6 shots on goal to the Cougars 7. So statistically speaking, the accuracy that the Regents were shooting with had a little bit more substance, as we saw by the final result here.
Yeah, overall, I think it was just the Cougars just started kind of firing off shots at certain points, and they just kind of found themselves rather sloppy overall. But I think the main thing that we are going to have to see overall as we move on with this Cougar team is what is the answer in the goal, because right now there's definitely a lot of questions floating around, and obviously you can look ahead to next year and say, well, the freshman needs the experience, he's going to perform in the future, but when you focus on the season right now, what are they going to look at? Do they put him back in, or kind of what's their plan overall? And we'll see what that looks like as we continue on.
Absolutely. So Cougars fall to 1-4 overall in the season as the Regents pick up their first win of the year, moving to 1-5 overall on the season. But in conference, with the first game under the belt, the Regents 1-0 in conference and the Cougars 0-1 in conference. Cougars looking to make a bounce back as they continue conference play this Saturday up in Plymouth, Wisconsin to take on Lakeland University. That is a 1 p.m. kickoff. Coverage and updates for everything that you'll need for that game can be found at our website, cucougars.com/coverage. But for today's broadcast, I'd like to give a huge shout out to all of our student workers that made this broadcast possible. Eric Perry on camera, Tyler Dorsch on camera, Ashley Schroll producing our live stream today, working the table for us, Jalen Franklin, and Alan Mateo taking photos for us. Joining me on the broadcast today, Dave Daimling. Thank you for joining me and joining us for the second half of this game. Peter Borkowski taking on the PA and DJ opportunities. Joining me in running this broadcast was our Assistant Sports Information Director, Corey Welch, our graduate assistant, Sydney Lloyd, and signing off today, I'm Kayla McLeod. Once again, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you guys next time here on the Cougar Sports Network.
Much for tuning in to today's Concordia University Chicago Cougars Athletics broadcast. We hope to see you on campus very soon. If you would like to learn more about what Concordia Chicago has to offer, go to cuchicago.edu.